Welcome back to the channel. Today is day two of me working on this M340i. It's a 2023 model. So I talked about what happened due to a result of the engine getting water into it. So it didn't hydrolock this engine. So this engine still is running good and we should be able to save it. But just going to talk about the parts I got. About to get ready to get the parts installed. So this pile of parts right here are all the new parts that's going to go in the car. The turbocharger just showed up this morning. I did start on this thing earlier, but I had a couple cars to knock out, so I'm just now getting back to the car, and I'm in the process of getting the old turbocharger out. So you can see here we got the new turbocharger in this bag here. It actually came in a box. I just took it out of the box. So this is how they come, and got the turbine there. And you can see this one right here spins with no problem, and that's not the case with the one that we're about to take out. So you can see how this one looks right here on the inlet side. So we got us some coolant. So a lot of these newer BMWs use this green coolant that you see right there, the HT-12. Got an exhaust manifold gasket, intake manifold gaskets, and then we got a gasket for the cat and a few O-rings for the oil like return and supply lines, and also the turbo coolant lines. So this the intake manifold right here. I just pulled it out of the box. So this one does have the intercooler built into it. That's what these two lines here, these attachments are for coolant to circulate through the intercooler. And while pulling this out of the box, I see that it comes with new intake manifold gaskets. So I'm gonna return the ones that the parts department sent me, so that helps save the customer money. So since the new one already has it, it's no need to charge the customer for these here. So take these back. I have a new air filter that's gonna go in the air box. So new air filter, because the other one has got damaged in the water. And then last but not least, we got a new throttle body, because the throttle body that was in the vehicle, or the one, I don't know where I put the other one at, I just had it. But the other throttle body, it had oil and debris in there, and I'm assuming water got into it. So they probably made its way to the electronics that are in here, and it caused some issues. So replacing the throttle body because of those reasons right there. So here's a little bit of an overview of what I've been up to earlier today. You can see I got the exhaust out of the car, and the catalytic converter, got that out, and some of the heat shields and stuff like that. So this car has a modified exhaust system to give it a little bit more of a louder sound. But other than that, the car is pretty much stock. So the next thing I got to work on is pulling this turbo coolant line off right here. I've already gotten the oil supply line out, and also the turbo coolant line from the top. And then there's an oil drain line. So I did get a little bit of footage of me zipping those out. So I had to do a little bit of wiggling and jiggling to get this joker out. So basically I had to twist it and put my pry tool in there at the same time. And I got it broke loose enough to kind of get it out. So I actually had to put the camera down for a second to get that done. But you can see it's kind of almost out of here. So it should pop. Go ahead and pop loose for me here. All right, so there we go. All right, so I got my repair instructions pulled up here and I'm moving along, getting ready to get this thing out of there. So up here on the bottom of the turbo, there's a bracket. So I got to get those bolts out of there. So I'm going to get that one. It looks to be about maybe a T40 or a T45, something like that. Then I just removed this trim panel right here. Well, that, it's like a side trim that goes around the axle in this boot right here. So the reason for doing that, so I was trying to sneak in here and access those two bolts. It's a little tricky to see from this angle, but this is probably the angle I'm gonna go to try to get them. I just found it a second ago. I want to say it's right here. So that bracket is about right there. I should be able to sneak off in here like right. Yeah, there we go, right there. So I was probably gonna sneak in this way, probably with like a long universal or a swivel to try to get those bolts right there loose, and then I'll go from this side over here to get that one. Or I might can get them all if I get like a long enough ratchet this way, but maybe a little shorter. So I'll see. All right, so just to let you guys know, all of these bolts are T45. That one that comes straight in that way, I was able to get that with the longer extension in T45, but for these at the bottom here, they go straight through. I had to actually come down here from the actually had to come to the top of the vehicle to get those. So that's what I'm doing now. I just got them loose and I get those out, and I'm able to get that bottom bracket out. And then after that, we got just all these bolts along the top here. They look like a 10 or 11 millimeter. So once I get all of those out, this thing is just supposed to kind of lean back and just tilt out, and there's plenty of room in here to just pull it out from the top. So I just got the bottom bracket out. Um, it's real easy. It's actually easier to get out from the top, especially these two bolts that go through there. So real easy to get out through the top. So now I'm gonna loosen those other ones along the top, and I should be ready to get this thing out of here. All right, so I've removed all 7 of those bolts. They're actually nuts. So these are the nuts that there's 7 of these in there. A couple of them came out with the stud, so I have to either replace the stud, and they do recommend that you replace these nuts too. So I'm gonna check with my parts department tomorrow and get those right parts. So this right here is like the little support brace or the stabilizer that actually secures it up. But the way that this thing is designed, I was actually trying to figure it out. So you got to kind of get something up under here, like a pry tool in there, in this area right here. So you have to go through there and just kind of try to lift up on it a little bit. And then once it's lifted up, it'll actually swing out. But I'm gonna need both of my hands to grab this thing out because it is a little bit heavy. I do kind of got one bolt in there just to kind of secure it and hold it. But yeah, it's just gonna come up and out of the brace, and then I should be able to just kind of feed it out through the top here. So, all right, so I just got it out of there. So, this is it right here. Um, so right here, you can kind of see some of the damage that happened to it. So you can see as a result of the damages, oil all in this area right here. So this is actually where the charge air pipe goes. So it was pumping oil all through there. Right here is the aftermath of what happened when the turbocharger got destroyed. So you can see that impeller is really, really chewed up, and the fan is bent, and some pieces of it are broken. So this thing is stuck, froze. It won't turn. So this right here is actually the bolt on the shaft here that actually broke off. All right, so I got this thing to a stopping point for right now. It really didn't take me too long to get this turbo out of here. It's not really that bad of a job. I will say on these B58s, well, this motor in particular, because the between the X5 and the cars and the different ones, you get a different variant of engine, and some of these have different cylinder heads, and the turbo they have a different style turbo, like the X5s and the X7s. The cylinder head design and the turbo is completely different, but I will say on these B58s or the B series engines in general, even the four cylinder, the B46, because this turbo is very similar to the turbo in the four cylinder, how it comes out. It's just that this one just has it has more bolts and nuts securing it. But I will say that this engine is like a very well engineered jigsaw puzzle. Like it comes apart real easy. The catalytic converter, I really didn't get a lot of footage of some things kind of coming apart, but like the catalytic converter, it only you got your clamp that goes around the turbo over there. Like for instance, the catalytic converter in here, that's the bracket for it right there, and there's a little like kind of locking tab at the top, and you press up on this, and you're able to kind of just get it out. So once you get the clamp off, once you loosen and remove this clamp, uh, you can just kind of push up on that tab, and it's like two 13mm nuts, and the which are these right here, and the catalytic converter pretty much just comes off. So a lot of this stuff is real easy to actually disassemble. The intake manifold is not bad to get off of here. So I'll say it's kind of a well engineered puzzle to get apart. So my first time pulling a turbo off this particular engine right here, but you know, it wasn't really that bad. And a lot of these B58s don't really have a whole lot of problems, so they're pretty reliable. Uh, I've done a lot of water pumps on them. These water pumps, they have issues from time to time, so I replace those from time to time. But other than that, um, not really. Especially on the M340i's, haven't really done a whole lot of stuff on these except for like spark plugs, maintenance, and stuff like that. I have done the heat management module, which is this guy right here that's buried up under there. So I've done one of those for the first time about 3 weeks ago on an X7. But and I have replaced a couple valve cover gaskets. So other than that, you know, these things don't have a whole lot of problems. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Uh, I'll get some more footage of this thing going back together, and we'll see how it runs when it starts up in the next video. So thank you guys for checking out Cool Fred's Beamer Tech. We'll catch you on the next video.